for him to benefit this board. So that being said, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Gelfar.
Aye.
Mendocino.
No.
Nyers.
Aye.
Villanova.
Yes.
Carvin.
Okay. Next item is the
Bridge.
for discussion, the Jefferson Avenue Bridge update. Mr. Nardi. You want a chair?
He's here.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Party's a nice week.
Thank you. I have to say, it's very nice that you do this every month for us, that you write this all out.
Well, I get a little help from Bishop. I emailed to Bishop. I have him corrected. So.
All right. No, you don't have to do it. That's very nice of you.
Okay. Yeah, with the Jefferson Avenue Bridge, Village of Mamaroneck, they put an RFP out. Anyway, we'll start. I'm sorry, Jefferson Avenue. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the Village of Mamaroneck got 3 responses from the RFP. They received a $400,000 grant to use for the design engineering services for the Jefferson Avenue Bridge Replacement Project from the New York State Dormitory Authority through the assistance of George Latimer. All right. The RFP professional services, the Village of Mamaroneck is not required to award to the lowest bidder, but rather based on recommendations on the materials presented, reference checks, overall project understanding, and compliance with the RFP. And the responses that they received were way below the grant amount. So the Village of Mamaroneck is going to use those funds to go towards their portion of the replacement of the bridge. With vacations and everything, we haven't had a chance to sit down and go over the bid packages, the packages for the architects. We're going to be doing that sometime between, an email just came out today, between August 30th and September 3rd. We're going to sit down and have a meeting to go over that.
So are you going to be involved with the interviews
Yes.
of these people?
Yes.
Okay.
It's interesting that the $400,000 was, it's terrific that it was granted through the assistance of Assemblyman Latimer. Does that mean that now the town of Rye is going to have to put up more money than the Village of Mamaroneck? It looks like we're kind of getting the shit through this.
I'll find out. I'll see what they say, but it sounds like from what I was hearing from Singerland is that it was going to go toward their portion, but we'll see if we can get it to go for the whole project, and then we split it equally. This way it breaks down our percentage.
That definitely should be something that should be looked into, and
Well, remember, it's our bridge.
It's
our bridge, but nonetheless, it sounds like someone else is getting their 50% paid for. And
Well, there was some
Did we request that?
There was some litigation many years ago about the bridges, and it was resolved by a stipulation, which I haven't read lately, where the village agreed to repair and maintain some bridges, and the town agreed to maintain some bridges. So I'm not sure where this particular bridge falls in that step. I'll have to look at it, but technically towns are responsible for bridges and cemeteries. That's state law, and villages pick up everything else. So we'll have to see where it falls. But as far as who got the money and why, it doesn't really make any sense for it to go only towards their portion of it. But it's all coming out of the same pockets, ours.
Right, and I think that's the perfect question to ask, and that needs to we need to realize is that if if this money is coming from via George Latimer, I think that this needs to be this money
shared.
should come to us, come to them if it wants to, but it needs to be distributed appropriately.
Well, as I understand, it looks like the village did the RFP.
Yes.
So then this must be their bridge, one of the bridges they must maintain. It's a 50-50.
Yeah, otherwise, why would we be involved at all?
Right, so, okay.
They're running the show, basically, the paperwork. They're putting
Well, there's only
RFP out.
one cost, so the 400 should be applied to the overall cost.
Yeah.
and then
Split,
balance.
right.
Right.
That's pretty. Is that a little bit more than would have been expected? 400 for design and engineering, just for that. That's quite a.
Yeah, do we
There's a
have
clarification there. And what's not included in the bid documents is there is some property acquisition that may need to take place in and around the bridge. So when they put the new bridge in, they may have to pay the property owners on either side. That was part of the $400,000, but not part of the engineering bidding. So the difference in money that might be there is reserved for potential payments to property owners for property rights acquisition.
Very good.
And this is just for, the 400,000 is just for the design and engineering services?
Yes.
So the actual construction or repair of the bridge is another matter?
Somewhere in the $2 million range.
2 million.
Keep that in your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me one further thing. Is there anyone or anybody who could inquire of the powers that be whether some of that $400,000 could be allocated toward the town of Rye's share, rather than just mentioning it at this meeting? You could perhaps report back to us next month on
Yeah.
that.
Well, we're going to have the meeting at the end of the month, and I'll find out from
Maybe we
there.
should talk to George.
Okay.
You can I'll call George. I can call George.
Sure.
Do we have any other discussion on Jefferson Avenue?
No.
Okay. We have a resolution for South Barry Avenue. Mr. Nardi?
Yep. Okay. Southbury Avenue. We got an estimated price of $7,500 for the engineering services of the redesign of the dry rubble wall for structural integrity, backfill specifications, and repair detail for the sidewalk. The existing bridge plan, which we had gotten through the National Guard, they're going to be using it. They're going to be using that. But any updates will be additional costs. Should it be agencies holding jurisdiction require additional mapping, and negotiations will be made. The existing guardrail, they're planning on salvaging it by shoring it and underpinning it. If they can't save it, then that's going to be then they're going to have to negotiate a cost on that. And that's basically that right now with the South Barry Avenue Bridge.
Okay. Hope, do you want to read this resolution?
Whereas the northwest wing wall of the South Barry Avenue Bridge, which crosses beyond, is it Guyan Creek?
Guyan Creek.
Guyan Creek.
Located in the village of Mamaroneck, New York, is in need of structural repair. And whereas an evaluation of the cause of the partial failure has been prepared by Onaman Kirby, located at 1171 East Putnam Avenue, Riverside, Connecticut, and a proposal for providing structural engineering services on this project has been submitted. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Rye authorizes Supervisor Joseph Cardigan to execute an agreement with Onaman Kirby to provide professional services, and be it further resolved that Onaman Kirby shall be paid $7,500 for the structural engineering services provided as described in the Summary of Services, Exhibit A, and Terms and Conditions, Exhibit B of the agreement.
Okay. Discussion?
Where are they located again? I'm sorry.
They just relocated to Riverside, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
They used to be on Portchester on Riverdale.
Oh, okay.
And then before that, Kirby was on Irving Avenue, underneath the Irv Stationery.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Alec, Dave?
No.
No?
No questions. No.
And just to refresh my memory, we found that there was no specific
Design flaw.
no design flaw. It was just normal wear and tear.
Yeah, they think some of the boulders in between might have been a little bigger gaps, and some came out, causing to scour underneath the sidewalk. And there's evidence that the sidewalk up above was starting to collapse a little bit, and they were, and I guess they didn't realize what was happening. So it's not something that happened overnight. It's been happening over a long period.
And so this is something that we can remedy.
Yes.
Perfect.
And this is a bridge that we own?
Yes.
Yes.